I hope you enjoy it because I sacrificed my body for your entertainment.
This is Miles Willis. If anybody's listening, please say something.
What if only one of us is supposed to make it out?
Hi, Jonathan. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Congratulations on your movie.
Thank you so much. We're all very excited.
It's been a while, right? I think the
Yeah,
movie
it
was
has
from 2022.
been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been interesting trying to revisit anecdotes of this film when it's so far in the past.
When did you shoot it? Was that even further in the past?
It was even further. I think that was like 2020, 2021. But
Oh.
COVID, the strikes, indie filmmaking, all of it together, and here we are. But here we are.
Well, it's the perfect film to make in isolation because you're pretty much isolated for the most of the
Yeah.
movie.
Was it perfect or was it maddening the absurd? Because we taking a reality that was already bizarro and then delving into a movie that just felt like, am I in a coma? Is this real or is this just, did I get knocked out during COVID?
Now, was the crew light as well? It's an indie film, so it's not as big as like a usual film, but on purpose, you really have to keep those things in mind, right? Like the less people on set, the better.
We all self-isolated and then at the same time stayed isolated while we were shooting from the outside world. We had a crew of about 40 to 50 people, so decent
Mhm.
sized crew. But yeah, I think that if anything, the silver lining was just for all of us to be working and to kind of then approach this taxing task of trying to tell this story. I think there was a lot of kumbaya and and whatnot amongst the cast of crew, just to see what we were doing and to honestly have an escape from what was going on in the outside world.
Now, for you as an actor, it's pretty isolating. What was it? I mean, you have a voice on the phone, but still, you're pretty much by yourself. Was it the actual actor, or was there somebody else filling in for the voice? Because it's really, your acting is really dependent on that voice, right? To kind of get the
100%.
feeling.
And I was so fortunate, first and foremost, to have Tamara Perry as my co-star, and what's more, to actually have her physically on set because I don't think the story would have come together in the same kind of way as it did, and the connection that she and I, just as people on a personal level, developed that was allowed us to really find more and access more in the story and the characters. It was truly special.
Now, how did you prepare to go mad in a?
How did I prepare to go mad? No one's ever really asked me that in that sort of way. So I will tell you a little bit more in depth. But the character, obviously, beyond what's going on the surface, is a pretty lost soul
Mhm.
who has a lot of things in his past that haunt him. And when you approach a character and ask, "How am I like this person? How am I not like this person?" Uh, uh, Writing it all down on the page, I quickly realized I couldn't be more different from this guy, which at least gives a jumping off point. But at the same time, I was like, oh my God, now I have to manufacture all of this.
Mhm.
To begin with, just having such an amazing support system in my life, both in friends and family, I made the call to break off communication with all of them for 3 months while during prep and shooting, just as a means to try to start manufacturing the sense of isolation that
Mhm.
this person feels on a daily basis. And then from there, that spiraled into just I lived in character uh, throughout shooting. I had production putting me up in a pretty dingy, off the beaten path place that just kind of spiraled down to, I mean, by the end of the shoot, I was having panic attacks in elevators and things that, very actory things. You're like, oh my God.
You a method.
Yeah. But no, luckily with as an actor, I have a really amazing sort of coaching and support system in place that it was, while it was painful, it was easy to step out of the role and more power to the experience as far as just actually committing and going for it versus uh, having to look back and wonder what would have happened if I had, stepped in a little deeper.
Yeah, you have to admire actors. We always ask the question like, how did you turn it off at the end of the day? Some people are like, just like that. And other people are like, oh no, I was like, it really got into my head,
Yeah.
because you have to turn it off and on when they yell cut, you know?
Or sometimes not. Sometimes you leave it for when it's wrapped and then you're like, nice to meet you. And the rest of the crew's like, yeah, cool, dude.
Now, what were some of the challenges? Because you're sort of kind of this moving set, right? Did they build it or it was all in camera?
No, no. So we had four different versions of the set. We had a huge one that had 12-foot ceilings that the walls could move and they could kind of
Mm.
shrink it as time went on. We had one they coined the hamster wheel that was a smaller set that could just spin that I could fully kind of stand in. We had this big flying V that was essentially two 12-foot walls with a pick point in the middle that you could slide down if you chose to. And for some reason, I agreed to do that and I got beat up. I got really beat up throughout the whole film, but looks great. So that's great for them.
Yeah, it shows. Well, that's kind of an ordeal for an actor, right? Physically and mentally, you're being challenged to, but it's great because people, it's good on your resume, right?
It's good on the resume. It was a challenge, and yeah, I think I lost 20 pounds leading up to shooting.
Oh, wow.
Fully by the end of the shoot, like I lost 30 pounds. I'm not a big boy, but I was a little bigger before then. And yeah, in large part, it was I was waking up every day at 4 a.m. working out to go then be on set, which was already a workout, just to try to not get hurt, to stay in some degree of performance viability, so that one weekend I wasn't going, I need to go to the hospital and sorry, we have to cancel the rest of the shoot.
Oh, yeah. What day was the most challenging for you? It's like physically and mentally. Like what particular scene?
Uh, I think, I mean, within the film, there's like some pretty physical feats that happened to him. Each one of those in their own right was pretty taxing to just be like, okay, now this is happening to me, and let's live in that for a full day. Our stunt days were really hard. I did all of my own stunts, and
Mm.
there's a lot of them. I for part of the film, I'm not fully clothed, which the stunt coordinator, his first day on set, was like, "Oh yeah, we'll get an armadillo on him and we'll pat him up." And the director and I turned to him and we're like, "Yeah, he's shirtless in these scenes." And he goes, "All right, I hope you know how to fall."
Oh, God. Any pads on the floor at least?
In moments, pads on the floor and some knee pads and some hip savers, but in other moments, not so much. So I hope you enjoy it because I sacrificed my body for your entertainment.
Well, congratulations on the film and best of luck in the future for you.
Thank you so much. It was
All
great
right.
talking.
Likewise. Thank you so much.